Good morning, everybody. Want to thank you all for being here and welcome you to our Graham County Board of Supervisor meeting. Today is September 2nd, and we will start our meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked Manager Welker to lead us in that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, once again, just want to thank everybody for being here. It's kind of exciting to have this many people here. Doesn't happen very often, but we'll go ahead and, do we have anybody online, Hannah, too? Welcome. We'll go ahead and move forward. Could we get a motion to approve our demands and handwritten warrants?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second Supervisor Howard's motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. Okay, we need to, sorry, I skipped that. We need to get a motion to approve our minutes of our regular meeting and work session held on August 18th.
I'll move that we approve those.
And I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Now turn the time over to Jeff McCormies with our Sheriff's Department.
I'm surprised to see so many people here to see me do this today. Thank you for coming. This is just a request to approve our national accreditation that reference the jail. It's a proposal of the jail staff, particularly administration, but also all the DOs themselves have worked hard to get this rating and get recognized by this national organization as far as their policies and practices, and just asking for the board's approval of the acceptance of that terms and conditions for the 3 years.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or concerns?
None here.
Chairman, I would just express my appreciation reading through the packet. This is optional. This is something that we don't have to have, this NIGEL certification, but the combination of training and that standardized training and awareness and the programs, it just raises the bar for us, and it helps us to, sometimes when you're in a rural setting, you're kind of isolated and you don't always you aren't always aware of some of the things that are developing and the problems. So this NIGEL certification, it's what, $7,500 for 3 years, which is for a training program. That's very reasonable. Thank you very much, both you and for Commander Perez for getting this implemented and getting us enrolled and administering this program.
TJ, did you have anything to say? Thanks for the backup. Okay.
All right.
I'd go ahead and make a motion then that we approve. Actually, it's ratify because we've already taken care of this, but ratify the agreement with national for national accreditation for a jail through NIJO.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now hear from our County Attorney, Scott Bennett.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for letting me have a few minutes to make a proposal. Basically what I'm here for today is to request permission to use RICO funds to assist the task force as well as Thatcher PD in purchasing a new drone. I was approached by Detective Carter from Thatcher PD, who also serves as a member of the law enforcement task force here in Graham County, and he indicated to me that the use of our drone is becoming limited. The technology has not only advanced, but based on the age of the drone they're using now, they have a limited amount of flight time that they're able to get as the batteries have just deteriorated. and it just doesn't have the same maneuverability and the capabilities that it did when it was new. They've had it for some time, and it's, in their opinion, it's time to get a new one. The advantages of a drone are not only surveillance, but what I'd really like to focus on is the fact that there's so many officer safety concerns with having a drone. Just an example, they were aware of an individual who was potentially suicidal and was very, his behavior was erratic. He was parked off in a car, and they didn't know if he had any weapons or if he'd become aggressive toward law enforcement, and they didn't even know if he was still alive. And they were able to take the drone in and hover around the car and kind of determine his intentions. Unfortunately, he was already deceased, but had he been continuing to be aggressive toward law enforcement, it could have created a situation where our officers could have been hurt. There are probably 150 other reasons that I could talk about as why a drone is so important, but I just really want to focus specifically on officer safety. As you may be aware, our RICO laws have changed recently, and we haven't been able to take in the same amount of money that we used to when it comes to our RICO forfeitures. Because of that, I try to only use RICO funds when there's a particularly important reason to use them. And I personally believe that this is absolutely vital to law enforcement, for our investigations, for officer safety, and again, so many other reasons. And just as a reminder, RICO comes not from the taxpayer, but it's purely the funds that have been forfeited by criminals. So everything in that account is money that was seized by us as we prosecuted people who were breaking the law. So with that, what our proposal is that we allow Thatcher PD to purchase a new drone, and we reimburse them 50% of the cost of that drone. It would, in fact, constitute a lot of money, but at the end of the day, not only will Thatcher PD benefit from it, but all of our area law enforcement here in Graham County will benefit by it. Where Detective Carter is part of the task force, plus the nature of law enforcement here, they will be happy to assist any agency who needs the use of the drone. And Detective Carter has assured me that if he gets a call out, whether it be by the Sheriff's Department or Pima PD or Safford PD, he'll be happy to respond and use the drone. So with that, we're asking for permission to reimburse the town of Thatcher 50% of the cost of the drone. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
No, I don't have any questions. I really appreciate your efforts for safety on our officers. Anything we can do to keep our officers safer and not have to have boots on the ground is very well accepted. And I also appreciate your attention and importance of being conservative on the monies that you have and spending the monies where it needs to be. Partnering with Thatcher and other law enforcement agencies is amazing. I love to see the partnerships going through with your office and other entities. It's very, very important that we keep these up, and I support this 100%.
Mr. Chairman, and Attorney Bennett, County Attorney Bennett, I will just echo and would only add that the fact that Thatcher PD standalone on their own, they would qualify, but the fact that they are willing and do assist and bring the drone for county incidents and the City of Safford incidents just highlights the cooperation. There's not a dollar figure discussed, but I think it was like $3,500. So it's not like we're spending tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars it's basically a fairly affordable drone and will give us good service. And I'd also, for future opportunities to investigate some of the injury accidents in the county, it'd be nice to have a drone fly over, capture the vehicles, and I think that would add to help with the investigation and documentation, but that's for another day.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the RICO funds for the reimburse Thatcher PD for the drone.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr.
so
Bennett.
much.
I'll turn the time over to Eric Engel with our engineering department.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just looking for approval to accept a quitclaim deed for right-of-way on Central Road from Frank Fox.
Always accept right away.
I'll, Mr. Chairman, if there's no other discussion, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we express our gratitude as a board and then also accept the right-of-way donation from Frank Fox for the Central Road, his Central Road property.
And I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Eric. We'll now hear from Brian Douglas with our Health Department.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're requesting approval of the Title V Maternal and Child Health Healthy Arizona Families, IGA Amendment Number 1. In short, it's our family planning program. And the updated IGA now approves the purchase of food at meetings and events within the IGA guidelines.
Okay.
No discussion from me.
Get more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
A lot more people at meetings, yes. Uh-huh.
I go ahead and make a motion, and I see that it's a 3% total, for the year.
Correct.
3% of your total budget, and that's reasonable, no more than 3%. So I think that's money well spent. It's a draw. It helps with attendance and reinforces the people who are attending and participating. So I move that we approve the Title V Maternal Child Healthy Arizona Families IGA Amendment 1.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll take an opportunity for our county manager and the board to present a brief summary of current events, and we will start with Manager Welker.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'll give a brief staff report update today. Our first round of revenue numbers came in for July. We call these August numbers. Our local sales tax came in strong, not as strong as last year, August, slightly down. But it is the second highest August sales tax numbers that we've received since we started charting 16 years ago. So it does look good. It is in line with our budget. We're slightly down through 2 months for the fiscal year. We're down $5,000, which is $663,000 compared to $668,000 last year. So that's our local sales tax. On the state shared sales tax, it's a better picture. We're quite a bit higher. Last year, we've been charting these for 4 years, and August numbers were the third highest that we've ever received for a month. So through 2 months of the fiscal year, we are about $120,000 above last year. So combining the two, we are trending better than last year. So that's good to see. A couple project updates. Over at the fairgrounds, we continue to work on our parking lots. We have 3 of them mostly finished. The 4th parking lot, they're working on installing the curbs today. I believe after our work session, we'll have time to go look at that project. The plan to finish out that project is once the curbs are done, our highway department will come with a grader, final grade them, and then they'll bring their boot truck, which will be on the ground, I believe, this week, and that'll be the last project for the boot truck, and they'll put emulsion down, and we'll roll it one more time, and then have those 4 parking lots done. So, very good project. I can't remember. I'm not sure what the total square foot is, but we'll have that number once we're done. Again, this was done mostly with inmate labor from DOC with their paving crew. And what we'd like to do is after the project's done is have a little ceremony with DOC. So probably be looking after the fair sometime in October after we have time to get them all painted and cleaned up and ready to go. So we're excited to see that progress continue. We should be bringing the food service contract. That's one of our largest contracts. I want to thank Commander Perez and Under Sheriff McCormies for reviewing that. That has been awarded to Summit, which is our current food contractor in the jail. We are working on a contract with them right now, which will be a 5-year contract. Just a little report. We are doing an internal fee study between Hannah and I. We're looking at all the fees throughout the county, at least the fees that can be adjusted. A lot of the fees are set by Arizona Revised Statute, but the ones that can be, we're looking at those, comparing them to other counties, and also comparing them to our local municipalities. We haven't touched these fees for at least 15, some 20, some 25 years, so it's well overdue. One of our big focuses on the budget this year was to improve some of our software and dispatch. We've had a couple meetings. One big meeting we had last week was a kickoff with Honeywell and Motorola for the AI paging. The AI paging will benefit first responders and specifically fire departments. As a call's coming in, an AI page will be created as the dispatcher is entering in the information from the caller, and our fire departments and other first responders will be dispatched sooner. We believe within a month we'll be in test mode on that, and so hopefully within the next 2 months we'll have that going live. Our old fairground sign on Armory Road, we're in the process of bidding that out. We have a design and we'll be replacing that sign right there on the highway. We're currently out to bid on our pest control contract. And one project that we finished, our concession stand that's behind the ag building. We have been having power issues with it for several years. We're able to upgrade that box and all the power around it, and so that building will be good to go. Our fairgrounds is extremely busy right now getting ready for AYSO soccer. The teams are already practicing. We'll have our first games here in a few weeks. Simultaneously, we're getting ready for the fair too, cleaning out buildings, setting up pins, and everything that goes with that. So they're very busy out there right now. Just a couple things at the highway department. They've been working throughout the county, mowing shoulders and brush. They've gone through some of the alleys like at Thunderbird Mobile, and we have some pretty good pictures and horror stories from those alleyways. But we just appreciate them for diving into that project that we've been needing for a long time. And then they've been preparing for our flush coat, which I had mentioned previously. They'll be going through out the county doing our annual flush coat for the next 3 and going into 4 weeks. Just lastly, on the engineering department, Eric and his team are working on a lot of things. One of the bigger projects is the tally wash. Eric had a good meeting with Freeport, was able to discuss our needs for a temporary easement and access roads and staging areas. So we should be getting close to having all those easements in place and continue work on those plans in-house and with the structural engineer. And that's my report for now, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Manager Walker. Vice Chairman David?
Thank you, Chairman. The week of August 18th to the 24th, attended a webinar on community fentanyl facts, fictions, and staying safe, just to try to find out what the latest trends are and concerns and threats, just to stay up on that. Later that day, there's a Mount Graham Safe House Board meeting that I participated in, and then that evening, a Gila Valley Veterans Service serving veterans is they've got this Friday they've got a resource fair for veterans at the fairgrounds, and that'll be Friday from 10 until 2 o'clock. And it's free to the public. It's for not only veterans, but families of veterans and people who just want to support veterans. Later that week, there was a, thanks to the board, which I appreciate very much, that approved some funding. We had a meeting where we met with the Senior Citizen Center staff and looked at some flooring for their kitchen and dining area. They've got an old linoleum tile that are worn, especially in the kitchen high traffic areas. And this will looking at linoleum, sheet linoleum, which should eliminate the cracks and just make it easier to clean and easier to disinfect. So appreciate the board's support of that. CCAS is also putting money in on that to help. Later that day, there was a National Association of Counties region meeting, West Region meeting, that I was able to attend remotely. And then there was attended a funeral on Saturday for a family member of a county employee. A very nice service. Then the following week, a Rural Transportation Advisory Council board meeting, planning our upcoming the seminar later in the month of October. I went to a Safford City Council meeting and attended that and listened to the big issue that day was the airport, and wanted to see what the airport subsidy, and was interested to listen and also to find out some of the other activities that are going on with the city. And then later that week, attended a Mount Graham Regional Medical Center luncheon, and earlier that morning I went to the Bilas and was present for the chairman's sister's funeral, and it was well attended, and he appreciated Graham County being there to show their support. And that's basically my report. Thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity to represent the county at these meetings. I'm not doing it for myself. It's to represent the county and find out what's happening, and be a liaison and try to assist all these different agencies. So it's very much it's very enriching. Great people in our community. Thank you.
Great. Supervisor Howard?
Yeah, I'll be brief here. We got a big agenda ahead of us. One thing I do want to talk about is I attended the hospital breakfast there on last week, and there was an announcement Roland Knox is retiring, who's been there for quite a while. I just want to say thank you to Roland publicly for all he's done for that hospital and the hospital in itself, the strides and the steps they've took to make it a better medical facility. It's becoming quite a force in southeastern Arizona. Very proud of our hospital. And other than that, I want to give a shout out Dustin and the crew, the Parks and Recreation Department, for all the work they've done out the fairgrounds. That this year the fair is going to have a new look. It's going to be exciting. We have a few different events coming up there. And we picked a great Grand Marshal for the parade, Jim and Celinda Palmer, who very well deserving, very big pillars of our community. It's just an exciting time. The fall's coming, fair's coming, a lot of events coming. So I just excited about that. And that's all I have to say. So thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I don't have a lot to add, so we're going to move forward with our public hearing. We're going to close our regular meeting and go into a public hearing. And I'll turn the time over to Steve McGoy. Keep in mind, if you get up to speak, that we have a 3-minute minimum, please.
Maximum.
Or maximum, sorry.
I'll take that minimum. Good morning.
Morning.
I've got 4 hearings here to present, and just because I know I'll forget to say it during each one of them, these were all favorably recommended to the board unanimously. So if I forget to say that, you can lean back on that. First one is a special use permit. The next 3 will be rezones. This first one is for an airstrip / helipad on the salmon well side of the county. This is Mr. Wilson is here, and he'll present to you, but I just want to throw in that we had the opportunity to use it this weekend had it been there. DPS went in and got a bear hunter out of that the pond just above his home. I don't know if that pond actually has water, but they got a bear hunter that was dehydrated out of there and possibly could have been an advantage. What Mr. Wilson, you remember we named his road here a while back in Kilberg Canyon, and he would like to make his property a little more accessible to himself. I don't blame him, it's quite the ride. Our search and rescue team headed that way, and DPS ranger rescued the bear hunter before we got to the reservation, so it saved us a 7-hour round trip. Why don't, Larry, why don't you come up and present, and then he and I will try to answer whatever questions you might have.
Good morning.
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 I guess I don't really know what to tell you. My property is about 7 miles in from Reddington Road, and it's a pretty gnarly ranch road. We're on the east side of the San Pedro, and the Reddington Road is on the west side. So on those years when we actually get a monsoon, that road can be closed for weeks or even, well, certainly for days and sometimes for weeks. And the property becomes inaccessible. I'm building a house out there, and we intend to live there. And if there's an emergency or something like that, I'm a pilot as well. I just would like to have a place to operate from. Part of the, one of the things that I had always intended to do was just to clear an area for a medevac helicopter for our own, if there was a medical emergency for ourselves. That would be, because I don't have a helicopter and I don't plan to ever get one, but it would be a place where they could land and pick us up and take us away. It's just for our own safety. And a few years ago, we had a fire in the mountains back in there, and they were operating helicopters fighting the fire back in there. And I thought, well, that might be this, a big enough spot might be a staging area for them. We don't really have water or anything for them to pick up, but it was interesting when Steve mentioned the bear hunter, because we do get a lot of hunters back in there, and I hadn't heard about that. I hope he didn't get any of our bears. The only other thing that might be relevant, my neighbor to the west had some issues with with my wanting to put the airport, or the airstrip there. It's about 1,200 feet long and 30 feet wide, just dirt. And he was concerned about his cattle because he has a stock pond and a corral about a mile to the west of me. And this airstrip, because of rising terrain to the east, is only, you can only operate to the west from it. So he had concerns about his operation there. There are no habitable structures within miles. The nearest one that I know of is a fellow who lives about 2 miles away, and he's to the east, so he's not a factor. I rarely see anyone out at my neighbor's corral. I know he goes out there. I see remnants of hay and that sort of thing, and he's got some troughs and water tanks out there. So I don't know that there's a lot of problems as far as being a threat to his cattle or to people. And certainly as a pilot, one of the things that if you do find yourself in an emergency, one of the things that you do is to avoid houses, people, living things. The aircraft is the most expendable thing. You use that to keep yourself alive and let the energy be dissipated into your aircraft, not you, or anything on the ground below you. And there is not such a bad place to land about a half a mile to the west of me, or at least a better place to crash than Mr. Carrasco's corral. So I don't think that he has too much to worry about there. He had a few other points. He pointed out the fact that San Manuel Airport is right nearby, but it's more like 16 miles, and it's on the other side of the San Pedro, and it's at the end of, and you still have to traverse that gnarly ranch road that takes about 45 minutes. So, and the county, Pinal, owns, they have 20 hangars, and the waiting list was, last I looked, had 45 names on it, and several of them I know and have been on that list for years. So I don't think that there was any real opportunity to base a plane there for me, and it doesn't fulfill my need anyway. So he had some zoning issues, and he was concerned about the rural character of our area. I'm probably way over my 3 minutes, aren't I? Okay. And I just wanted to point out that a lot of ranchers and farmers use aircraft in their operations. So we don't have anybody out there who's doing that right now. And I'm not a rancher, but there's a lot of people that use them. So I don't think that's going to be all that unusual for him.
All right.
Any issues that you have questions about?
No, thank you for getting up and speaking.
Okay.
And is there anybody else here to speak on this?
I was hoping he'd be here.
Okay. Seeing none, it did get a favorable recommendation from the,
It did, unanimous. And I thought he might mention that he's already gone through the FAA and been approved, and his airstrip is already named through them, so he has federal approval.
okay.
Well, it's not really approval. It's what happens when you get an airport number is that they simply look around to see if there's any factors on the ground or in the air that would be impacted by your vehicle. So they're looking for like cell phone towers and power lines, other operations like north of the aircraft. They didn't find it, but it's not an approval.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Questions from the board?
No, I just think it's a kind of a no-brainer. You're offering a airstrip and a heliport out there, and it's already been shown that it can be used and it will be used. You're in an isolated area. You're not only offering an airstrip for yourself, but other pilots in distress or different emergency situations. I think it's a great additive to that country to have that there. It's isolated. You're very isolated, so I have no problem with this at all.
I concur, Supervisor Howard, and would just add, in reading the concerns about the noise and the impacts on the cattle ranching operation, if this was in an area that was going to develop into a general aviation strip, that's more of a concern that I'd have and would give more weight to that. But a private pilot in a very remote area, and the value of having an emergency airstrip. If someone loses 1,200 feet, isn't a long way to a long landing strip, but it's better than mesquite and creosote. And I would just be real interested to see how well you do grading that rocky hill to get it flat enough to make it a decent landing strip. Okay, well, you got some work to do. Anyway, so for those reasons, and I did give some weight to the Carrasco's concern and try to be aware but you know, from a property rights perspective and a benefit to the county and for people in distress, I would go ahead and I'm going to approve of this as we vote.
We get a motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve this as written.
And I'll second Supervisor Howard's motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, our second hearing is a zone change from A to, it's a 2.5 acre parcel, 105-45-054B and 52B, 2.5 acres in total. The request is made to rezone from A to residential rural. This is on Central Road, very near where Frank Fox just gave us right of way. This is, I don't see him here, so I'll present Lane Jensen and his son Tom. They have this 3.5 acres. They intend to keep 3 acres as 1 acre parcels, but they would like to pull the ½ acre out and make it usable for Tom, the son, to build a home on. So that's all they're asking is for 1 ½ acre parcel zoned where they can use it to put a home on it. It has city water but does not have sewer available, so it'll have to have septic, so 20,000 square feet is as small as we allow. It was heard by the planning and zoning and given a unanimous favorable recommendation.
Okay. Board, any questions, concerns?
Seeing more and more of these ½ acre lots, that's what people seem to be going for the affordability and families doing this. I don't have an issue.
Were there any public concerns?
No.
Anybody here from the public?
Anybody.
Okay, I would just, my question is, are there other ½ acre parcels? Have we ½ acre zoning or R20 zoning in the area?
Probably, yeah, I think we just did a piece for Mike Stacy. Yeah. It would, there's 3 pieces there on the south side of Central Road,
Okay.
closer to the railroad tracks.
Okay, well, that is the trend, and what we're seeing is most of our rezoning requests are for density to allow people, and then since this is a family compound, I think that it's a reasonable request, and I wouldn't be in favor of because of the real nature, anything smaller than ½ acre, even though this is this 0.51? Or is this just a R20?
It's similar to R20. It's rural residential is what we now call the 20,000 square foot minimum.
But it's actually a 0.51 acre parcel?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're still talking with them about getting right away and rearranging that just a little bit, but yeah, it's going to be at least 20,000 square feet, which is 0.47, so.
Okay.
0.48, somewhere in there.
Any other questions? Nope. Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and move that we approve the rezoning request for parcel 105-45-054B and 105-45-052B.
Is that it?
Well, it's the applicant is Lane Jensen.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, our third hearing is for a 5.5 acre portion of a 61 acre parcel south of town at Morning Dove and 191, or south of Morning Dove on 191. The applicant wishes to put storage units. If you zoom into that property, you can see that there's an ADOT approved and built access. And Mrs. Taylor has agreed that, yeah, right there, agreed that that will be the access to this, and not, Morning Dove will not be available for that. And if you wish to put a stipulation to that in there, you could. I think she will put it in the form of writing for us, and I'll let her speak to that, but this was heard by Planning and Zoning and given a unanimous favorable recommendation. The only, if I'm not mistaken, the only negative we heard about it was the owner of the road not wanting, of Morning Dove Lane, not wanting it to be accessed for this, and she has agreed to that. So, Shauna, if you want to come tell them what you're trying to do, and we'll go from there.
Good morning.
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 So what I'm proposing and would like to do is, if you'd zoom out on that a little bit more. So you'll see our acreage is divided into 3 sections there. Oh, thank you. And so all 3 of these sections here, the only section I'd like to rezone is this area right here. And the access point, like you already mentioned, would be right here off of the highway. Everything else would be completely fenced off with chain link fence, standard storage unit type thing with barbed wire across the top. There were 2 concerns from a couple of neighbors, one being that Morning Dove is a dirt road, it's a single lane road. I completely understand that. Again, there will be no access from Morning Dove. As you can see, both sides of Morning Dove is our property, and I spoke with the owner of Morning Dove who lives, or who owns this property over here, and he's wanting to propose widening that road to become a county road. We are willing to work with the easement access for that, as far as giving up part of our property to make it a 2-lane road. Again, still no access from Morning Dove for the commercial property here. The other concern from another neighbor was that a lot of people go down Morning Dove to dump trash and debris, and I get that because, as you see, my property is on both sides of Morning Dove, and there has been a lot of dumping. So to understand that concern, I get it, but it will be fenced off. The whole entire commercial property here will be fenced off, and we will be fencing off our private personal property, because we will be building our forever home up here in this northern part. So I don't want people dumping their trash and debris on my property either. So those were the 2 concerns. And any other questions?
I don't think trash has an issue here. They're gonna dump it there one way or another, whether your road's there, whoever road's there, people dump trash wherever they're gonna dump trash. It's out of your control. So that to me is not an issue. And I see no problem with this, especially if you are going to acknowledge or stipulate that that will be your entrance. You're satisfying everybody's concerns. Again, the trash, I don't see an issue there, so I have no problem with this.
Mr. Chairman, I had a couple questions. Could you zoom in, Dustin, on their entryway? And I wanted to see the road section. We currently, that is not a 2-way left, it doesn't have a center left turn lane, right? It
No.
doesn't have a protected left turn lane?
It does not yet.
Okay.
It just by Artesia's, when it goes down to the single lanes on each side, and I spoke with ADOT, and I'll have to widen that easement from the highway to satisfy their requirements, but also they said that if necessary, they will be doing a traffic survey study to
Okay.
check on that as far as that goes. But from the highway to the point of access right here, they said that was plenty long enough that way, but we would just have to widen it.
Yeah, the radius is so that the
Right.
people don't have to slow down.
Exactly.
To a stop to make the turn. And also, on your actual construction, I don't think that we require that you give us your plans, but are these going to be like Connex boxes, or are you going to do something like the Ward Brothers and have metal buildings and enclosed storage? And the reason I ask is just the visual, there's a
100%.
difference between a Connex boxes and regular, storage units.
Right, it'll be similar to the Ward Brothers. However, no open storage as far as like RVs and boats and that such. It'll all be smaller units
Okay.
with doors.
And your fencing is not going to be screen, it'll be like a just security fence, like a.
Yes, sir, with a
Like
security
a
gate.
5 or 6
coated.
foot, but you'll be able to see it from the highway, correct?
Yes.
Okay. No other comments? Thank you very much for developing that. It's nice to have things develop in blocks rather than little tiny sections here and there.
Yeah, I would like to see it stipulated in there that they cannot access off of Morning Dove. I know she said they would put that in there, but I'd like to make sure that goes in there just for future reference if it gets sold or whatnot.
And you're willing to stipulate that, or willing to allow that if we approve?
Okay.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the rezoning of 940-25, APN 106-34-012. A favor?
I just wanted,
Come on up.
Oh, forgot to ask.
Sorry.
I put the wrong label on the form, so.
Okay, Mr. Bertaldo.
Sorry about that.
Had we done?
My name's Manuel Bertoldo. I'm the executor of my dad's estate, and we do own 3 parcels, one of them being Morning Dove. And hearing the stipulation, that's all we were against, was we didn't want increased traffic. And in dealing with storage units, where the ones I go to, they don't have the dump thing, so people do tend to dump, and they could potentially dump on that road. So I don't think your comment is particularly correct. So other than that, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bertaldo.
Okay, want to start over again? Now that we have that stipulated in there and agreed upon, I will go ahead and approve the rezoning of 940-25, 106-34-012, a 5.5 acre portion of a 61 acre parcel from general land use to commercial manufacturing.
And can I make a friendly amendment to your motion that it have the stipulation?
And the stipulation of the entry off of the highway
And instead of Morning Dove?
instead of
Okay,
Morning
very
Dove.
good. I'm pleased to second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you. And our last hearing will be parcel number 103-28009B. This is 5 acres that mirrors the 5 acres north of it, all owned by Clyde and Paula England, England and Son trailer manufacturing or trailer sales. This is kind of a little cleanup on this zoning in that they've been parking trailers over on this parcel and it's not zoned for, so when that was mentioned, they said, well, let's get that done. So it's kind of a cleanup, but he also has the intention of selling and wants it all be above board, and so he's asking to mirror the south 5 acres to the north 5 and all of it be zone CM, which is exactly what he's doing. And that got a unanimous favorable recommendation from the commission.
Okay. Is there anybody here to speak on this one? Okay, seeing none. Any questions or concerns?
Nothing.
I did have one, Mr. Chairman. Could you enlarge that south border? And just to show the residences there? And is there a roadway that goes along that? Is that an easement or a roadway?
47th Drive, yes,
Okay,
goes to there's a string of 5 manufactured homes back in the back that access it that way.
well, if they haven't expressed any concerns about the you know, a fabrication, and I'm not opposed to that, cleaning it up, but, you know, if we are aware that there's going to be a potential for fabrication, I don't know who will purchase that and who will utilize it, but if there was a fabrication shop going up and across, you know, in my backyard with welding, you never know if they're going to do multiple shifts. We had something similar to that there on First Avenue in Thatcher, you know, next to a residence where we didn't allow the rezone or upzoning. So, but if they haven't expressed a concern, then I won't express I won't stipulate or be in opposition. But would be a concern to me if I lived there.
Well, they were all notified, and we heard nothing from any of his neighbors.
Very good.
I did hear from somebody across the street, but he just wanted to know what the process was to do the same thing for himself. So.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'd make a motion. I would, one other comment before the motion, and that is the Englands have been great for our community, supported 4-H and everything else, and he's been a honorable, reputable, hardworking member of our community, done a lot of good things for ranchers, farmers, anyone with the needed welding. I was less than pleased with their First Amendment, how they use their First Amendment rights with their flag in the corner of their property, but I will continue to support their First Amendment rights. I just didn't like I thought that was stretching at their flag, but that's not a reason to disapprove and continue to support their private property and First Amendment rights. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we allow the rezone of from general land use to commercial manufacturing for parcel 103-28-009B.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate you and
Thank you,
all
gentlemen.
you do for our planning and zoning. We're now going to take this opportunity to present our years of service awards for our county employees, and this is always exciting for us. We appreciate all our county employees and everything that you guys do to help keep the wheels turning here, and we'll turn the time over to Manager Welker.
Chairman, could I bring your attention the call to the
Oh,
public?
the call to the public.
If you don't
I'm
mind.
sorry.
That's okay.
Well, I'm butchering the meeting today.
No, not at all.
Is there any calls to the public, Hannah? Okay. We also need to close our public hearing and go back into our regular meeting for this, so we'll do that now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I also just wanted to welcome everyone here and thank you for being here. I was thinking about this earlier, and 7 years ago in 2018, we finished the year with very little money, to say the least. And back then, though, the board and the board office, we wanted to do something for the employees. We didn't have enough money to give everyone a raise, and it had been over 10 years since anyone got a raise. So we came up with this as a token, I guess, of gratitude and appreciation, because we couldn't do any kind of increases back then. And like I said, we're on our 7th year, so a lot of people here today that'll be getting more than just the 5-year. This will be your second round. 2 years ago, we increased the dollar amount. We wanted to make it a little better award, which I think has also been appreciated. Graham County has 22 departments in it, and everyone is doing so many great things. There's something exciting going on in at least one of those departments every day, and you can define exciting any way you want. But I really appreciate our elected officials. I'd put them up against any elected officials in the state. The way our county gets along and works together is unique. And all of you department heads, elected officials that get to rub shoulders with others, I think can attest to that too. So I just wanted to say, give you a huge thank you. Our county is definitely growing. I had a conversation with Judge Peterson a few weeks ago. We have a quarterly meeting together, and he pointed out that Graham County has more people on probation than Gila County, Santa Cruz County, and Greenlee County combined. And I saw a report that just a couple weeks ago that backed that up, and that is true. And I don't believe that we have more people acting badly in Graham County than Santa Cruz, Gila, and Greenlee combined. I know we don't, but I know that we are tougher on crime and that we do a very good job of keeping people safe. One of the common calls that the Board of Supervisors and I get is from people that call us and are angry, and they said, I want my pothole fixed, and I pay my property taxes, get this pothole fixed. If they're willing, we'll explain to them that their property taxes, not a dime of that goes into any of their streets. It all comes from a special revenue fund, and in fact, all of our property taxes, almost 100% of them, go into public safety. And that's not a bad thing. It's just really expensive to run a jail and have deputies and pay attorneys and clerks and judges and all those things. But that's why counties exist, to keep people safe and to have a successful court system. So I just wanted to point that out. We're very proud of Judge Peterson, Judge Ragland, Scott Bennett, Heidi. I'd be remiss if I didn't throw Mindy in there, even though she's not an elected official, but you guys all do a very good job, very proud of our court system, and that's not to take away from everything else that we do. Like I said, there's 22 departments in the county, and we're all doing good things. We're growing, and we're making a great efforts and great influence on the community. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I'll get off my soapbox. We do have these awards of service, so I'll ask the Board of Supervisors if you'll come here on the right. As we say your name, if you'll please come up here, accept your award from the board. Also, if there's department head, elected official, or supervisor, please come up with us. And I saw Barbara. Where'd you go, Barbara? There's Barbara. Barbara will take a picture. And then once we get through everyone, we'd like everyone, all those that receive the award, to line up in front of the television over there. And we'll take a picture with everyone. So we have everything from 5 years to 45 years on here. So we'll, 46. I wonder who it is. All right, board, if you'll join me over here. So what you'll have today, what you'll receive is a award right here that Hannah created. Thank you, Hannah. And more importantly, probably the check that you're looking for here. So it is the exact amount. So 5 years is $100, and 10 years is $200, and every 5 years it goes up $100. One thing I'll just point out that Brandon very painstakingly does is give you enough money, because we have to still take out taxes and Social Security and all that fun stuff. So you will actually be getting exactly $100. So the award's actually more. And he spends way too much time on the spreadsheet figuring out how to get you exactly $100 or $200 or $500 or whatever it is. So anyway, thank you, Brandon. I know you spent a little bit of time doing that. All right, so the first one we have is Marcus Campos, 5 years.
Oh, yeah, next to the skin is.
Mindy Young. Brandon Hall. Angela Montoya. Jail nurses are so important, they get 2 department heads. Ron Chacon. Also 5 years, Ramiro Martinez. Ramiro's not here, okay. Also 5 years, Rose Contreras. Still on 5 years, Rose Lacey. Okay, moving on to 10 years, Ben Chisholm. Uh, 10 years, Roxana Brandt. Also 10 years, Chance Moore. Ten years, Heather Jacobs. 10 years, Colin Fanning. Started out in probation. And how many years? 10 years, Melissa Lund. Right, you hired a lot of people. You hired well, too. All right, 20 years, Steve McGoy. At 20, you have to start sharing that check. 25 years, Lori Boring. Nice to Lori, she makes sure your checks don't bounce. All right, 30 years in the clerk of the court, Rebecca Ornelas. Okay, 35 years, Ida Furnish.
Hard to believe I started at 10 years old with the county. Started as a lifeguard.
All right, last one, 45 years, Lourdes Madden. For those that received the award, if you'll stand on that wall, get a little closer together. Actually, just listen to Barbara. She'll tell you. You want to do it right here?
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, yeah, that makes it so better. Okay, let's see. We might even get some people in the back, maybe, or come in closer. Yeah, you can do that. Because my lens is not wide angle, so I can't put all of you in there. Perfect. Oh, that looks good.
Hey, don't leave yet, please. Don't leave yet, please.
All right, I want to thank everybody for being here today. Once again, thank all of our employees. You're the backbone of the county, and we appreciate everything that you do here. We're going to go ahead and adjourn our meeting now, but we do have refreshments here for everybody, and would appreciate it if you would stay and have some refreshments with us. So our meeting is adjourned.